Mr. Krabs has done a lot of questionable things over the years. Stealing, scamming, covering up crimes, you name it. But he wasn't always Bikini Bottom's most shameless crook. In the early days of SpongeBob, Mr. Krabs was just cheap. A petty businessman who cut corners, sure, but he didn't cross the law. Over time, the tough but caring boss started disappearing, and he was replaced by someone willing to lie, cheat, and even put others in danger for a quick payday. If you trace it back, there's a very specific moment where it all started. One episode where he crosses a moral line for the first time, and sets him on the path to becoming Bikini Bottom's most consistent criminal offender. When Mr. Krabs first appears in the Help Wanted episode, you can tell right away what kind of character he's gonna be. The voice, the posture, the way he calls SpongeBob lad, it's the same energy you get from an old-timey shopkeeper who will sell you gum for $1 and act like it's a bargain. From day one, Krabs' character is defined by two things. 1, he likes money. 2, he's cautious about anything that could threaten his business. If you're working for him, he'll push you to the limit. And if you're buying from him, he's already calculated how to get a little extra out of you. You can almost respect the hustle. Almost. Early on in the show, this trait is still pretty harmless. Like in Squeaky Boots, for example, we see how his logic works. He buys the wrong gift for Pearl, which is a pair of awful squeaky boots. So what does he do? He smooth talks SpongeBob into buying them off of him by trading his paycheck for something worth $2.
Got yourself a deal.
Fortunately, Krabs isn't just the kind of boss who hides in the office counting money. You actually see him out on the floor, shouting orders, flipping patties, even stepping up to help customers when needed. Though usually because it's hurting his wallet, not out of kindness. Still, there is a softer side to him in these early seasons. Krabs' relationship with his daughter Pearl is one of the earliest hints that he's not a one-note character. Sure, he's stingy with her, every gift comes with a price tag attached, but he does try to make her happy. In episodes like Culture Shock, he stages an entire talent show at the Krusty Krab, which is clearly a marketing tool for his business. But he also lets Pearl perform, giving her a moment to show off her cheerleading skills.
Hooray!
This is early Krabs in a nutshell. Always chasing profit, but still giving you warmth. By the time Season 2 rolls in, Krabs' personality starts showing some real depth. In Bossy Boots, he lets Pearl completely redecorate the Krusty Krab into a teenage hangout, even though it's driving away customers, simply because he wants her to have a summer job. That's money out of his pocket, and he lets it happen anyway. In Welcome to the Chum Bucket, we see this kind of affection again. Krabs literally gambles SpongeBob away to Plankton in a card game, and then fights to win him back when he realizes how much his fry cook means to him. Other episodes like Hookie and Dying for Pie push this trait even further, putting Krabs in a dad role for SpongeBob and even Squidward, warning them about danger, telling them to care for each other, sometimes being more protective than their actual families. These early seasons also frame Krabs as a sort of community figure. Whether it's hosting talent shows, tolerating SpongeBob's squirrel jokes for the sake of the crowd, or even holding a Halloween party, the Krusty Krab is where people gather, and Krabs is right at the center of it. He's still a businessman at heart, but what matters is he was also part of the neighborhood fabric, which is why the smoking peanut hits so differently. This is the moment where the heart takes a back seat and something colder takes over. Before the main plot even kicks in, Krabs is already raiding the zoo like it's a clearance sale. Balloons, soda, even the light bulbs from the path lamps. If it isn't bolted down, it's going in his pants for sure. Why? Because it's free day, of course. Now, stealing light bulbs from a zoo is small potatoes for a cartoon character, and it could have been just another goofy Krabs gag. But when the story shifts to Clamu the giant oyster, things take a darker turn. Clamu the giant oyster is found crying hysterically, and the whole town panics. And here's the thing, this isn't just any sea creature. Clamu is framed as a beloved, almost sacred figure in Bikini Bottom. Hurting her is like kicking a puppy in front of the entire town square. The whole town is dying to know what kind of jerk is cruel enough to hurt one of Bikini Bottom's most beloved creatures. Too bad, SpongeBob is instantly under suspicion, because he's in the wrong place, wrong time, and to be fair, he did throw a peanut at Clamu. What follows the episode is a spiral of guilt. SpongeBob questions himself, asking left and right for validation, and finally works up the courage to confess in front of the entire town. The poor sponge admits it. Yes, he threw the peanut. He was the reason Clamu cries, or so he thinks. But here's the gut punch. The peanut wasn't the reason Clamu was upset. Krabs was. Turns out Krabs took Clamu's pearl, which, plot twist, turns out to be an egg because money, right? Now this twist makes Krabs feel so heartless because while SpongeBob is drowning in guilt and Patrick is literally chained and humiliated in public, Krabs says nothing. He only comes clean when he's dragged into the open and the evidence is pulled from his clothes. Or with his clothes, I should say. It's worth pausing here because the smoking peanut feels different from every Krabs scheme before it. Up until now, Krabs schemes have been goofy, extra profit kind of stuff. You roll your eyes, you laugh, and it's over. But the smoking peanut? He commits a calculated theft and lying by omission. This is the first real crack in Krabs' image as the community's tough but reliable businessman. And as we'll see in the future, once he crosses it here, the slope only gets steeper. The thin layer of respectable businessman is gone. That episode proved he's willing to let friends take the fall for his crime. And it's like something in him clicked. The crimes only get bolder after that. Take Jellyfish Hunter, for example. On the surface, it looks like a story about discovering great food. SpongeBob shares his personal jellyfish jelly on a Krabby Patty, and the customers love it.
I just had a sandwich, no ordinary sandwich, a sandwich filled with jellyfish jelly.
One guy is so moved, he literally sings an impromptu ballad in the middle of the restaurant. Krabs tries it, and you can practically see the dollar signs light up in his eyes. So he makes SpongeBob a proposition. Catch more jellyfish. Lots more. Oh, and by the way, I'm not paying overtime. At first, it's small scale. A jar here, a jar there, but in true Krabs fashion, a few turns into all of them. More jellyfish means more jelly spread, means more profits. By the midpoint of the episode, SpongeBob's essentially been tricked into running an industrial operation. Nets, machines, entire hives emptied out until Jellyfish Fields is stripped bare. And here's the kicker. The whole time SpongeBob thinks they're just keeping the jellyfish comfortable. But that's just corporate lies, my friend. Krabs is running a secret jellyfish gulag behind the scenes. Factory tubes milking them dry, tossing their lifeless bodies into the trash, all while riding an exercise bike.
What is this horrible place?
It's just a sport for him. This greedy crab causes environmental destruction, animal cruelty, and manipulating someone who trusted him completely. This is the kind of thing you'd see in a depressing PETA ad at 2 a.m. It's the clearest sign yet that Krabs has moved past cutting corners and into burning the whole damn field down if it means more money at the register. And no, he doesn't stop there. Nasty Patty shows just how far he'll go when a human life, or well, a fish life, is on the line. It starts with what should be a harmless misunderstanding. Krabs mistakes a visiting health inspector as just some scammer looking to get free food. Now, a normal person might, I don't know, call the police, check his ID, literally anything that doesn't involve food poisoning. But not Krabs. He whipped up a patty topped with toenail clippings, seahorse radish, toilet water, and every disgusting thing he can get his hands on. And when the inspector accidentally chokes and passes out, Krabs' immediate reaction is damage control. In seconds, the episode shifts into a corpse disposal job, pressuring SpongeBob to take responsibility, even dig the grave himself.
What's this wee stuff? You fed him the tainted patty. Looks like it's the stony lonesome for you.
Even when they get stopped by police mid-burial, Krabs plays it cool, hiding the body and hitching a ride back to the Krusty Krab, with the corpse in tow. And when the police finally corner them, he flat out throws SpongeBob under the bus.
Okay, I confess. SpongeBob killed him.
What?
There's no more pretending he's just a quirky boss who pinches pennies. The mask is off. This isn't the lovable cheapskate from season 1 anymore. This is the Krabs who will risk lives, commit crimes, and betray friends without a second thought. And the worst part? The show keeps proving it. By the time season 3 rolls around, there's no mistaking it anymore. Mr. Krabs is operating like a small-time criminal, and the only law he follows is whatever makes him richer. Remember Clam's episode? What's supposed to be a simple company fishing trip turns into a Moby Dick-level obsession. When a giant clam swallows the dollar, Krabs doesn't just want it back, he's willing to hold SpongeBob and Squidward hostage at sea until they help him hunt it down. He ignores their exhaustion, rations their food, and risks their lives, all over a single dollar. There's also a time where Krabs sells SpongeBob a drinks hat for pocket change, only to discover it's worth a fortune to collectors. What's it called? One Krabs trash? Yeah, that's the one. Instead of admitting the mistake or negotiating fairly, he just decided to dig up the grave of Smitty Werbenjagerman Jansen to steal it back. We're way past petty. And if you ever wanted proof that nothing is off limits, Krabbyland delivers. This is Krabs at his most shameless, building a cheap, dangerous theme park out of scrap to lure kids in with false advertising. He charges them for everything inside, risks their safety, and hides in his office counting the money while SpongeBob distracts the kids. When the kids realize they've been scammed, Krabs just flees, sprinting away from an angry mob of children. By the end of Season 3, there's no denying it, the Mr. Krabs we met in Season 1 is gone. In his place is someone who will exploit employees, customers, children, and entire ecosystems for a quick payday. And mind you, those crimes are only from Season 2 and 3 alone, the golden era of SpongeBob. In later seasons, there's no tension over if Krabs will do something shady. The only question is how far he'll go this time. I could mention it all. Penny Foolish, The Krusty Sponge, The Krabby Chronicle. It's a greatest hits album of scams and exploitation. The list just goes on. And don't even get me started with episodes like One Course Meal. But that's not the point of this video. This isn't about listing all of his crimes. My point is that none of these moments would exist without the smoking peanut. That was the first time he crossed a moral line in broad daylight, let innocent people take the fall, and walked away without a shred of guilt. The first time he proved to himself that if it makes money, it's fair game. Legality? Kinda optional. And once you've made that leap, there's no going back. Looking back now, it's almost hard to believe how far Mr. Krabs has drifted from those early days. And honestly, the way the show frames him makes it even stranger. Sometimes the town calls him out, sometimes he's punished, but most of the time, life just goes back to normal like nothing happened. Almost as if Bikini Bottom has an unspoken rule. Krabs will be Krabs. That's just the rules. But then again, SpongeBob always has this sneaky way of slipping its sharpest, strangest storytelling right under your nose. Episodes where you're laughing along until you stop and realize, wait, what did I just watch? We've talked before about one of those, an episode so bizarre on the surface that it feels like nonsense, until you piece together what's really going on. And no, I'm not going to spoil it here, but if you know, you know. And if you don't, well, we've already broken it down. And trust me, once you see it, you'll never look at it the same way again.